Well, guys, this is it. This is the end. My antics have made it to Reddit. So a little bit of context about this guy. He's this guy who was, for a little bit, he was fine. Like, he would, like, he puts, like, regular comments, like, regular, like, oh, whatever, funny comments or whatever. But then, all of a sudden, like, at the turn of the year, like, he just kind of started to, like, he made, like, a quick switch to, like, oh, I'm such a bad person, I'm an awful YouTuber, I'm a blah, blah, blah. I don't know where that came from. I'm not sure where that came from, because, like, he's been fine for a while, and now all of a sudden now that I'm actually making, like, more videos about games that I like, I don't know what happened. He just kind of, the switch turned in his head or something. And normally I wouldn't really make a video about this, like, there's whatever, like, a billion negative comments about me all over, and I just kind of leave them there, because a lot of the times, like, nobody really knows what they're talking about in that regard. But it made it to Reddit. It made it to the Super Meat Boy Reddit, the subreddit. I'm not on Reddit at all. I'm not a redditor. Like our good old friend, Redditor Meat Boy, I'm not like that. I'm not like that. I don't really indulge in that lifestyle. And, I haven't read this whole thing through. I kinda, like, even right now, I'm, like, looking up, like, at the corner of my room, trying to avoid, like, reading this, so it's fresh. But, like, I read, like, the first couple of sentences, and I was able to discern pretty quickly, like, oh, yeah, this is about me. This is about me. So, yeah, I mean, what kind of person would I be if I didn't partake in the open forum that is the internet? And just go ahead and talk about this stuff and see if I can rectify some information in here, because I saw a few interesting things, and I'll get into it. A little bit of a rant. I just need to get something off my chest. So sorry if this comes off as a little bit ranty. I don't know if that's a word, but I don't care. I freaking despise Salt and Spam. So he uses the word despise, but then he doesn't say fuck either. Like, to be a man, follow through. Use fuck. Say fuck. I'm saying it right now, fuck. I fucking despise Salt and Spam. I'm not really getting the idea that you despise me, because despise is a strong word. You don't break that out often, but, I mean, alright, whatever. It's an interesting way to go about it. He's just an arrogant doog bag. Douche, that's not how you spell douche. It's D-O-U-C-H-E, not doog. Doog bag. I'm a doog bag, everybody. That does nothing but criticize Super Meat Boy Forever and spread misinformation about Team Meat. And this is one of the weirdest times for this to happen. Like, if this happened, like, a year ago, maybe I would buy this. Maybe I would be like, okay, yeah, whatever, it's just a guy, he's just giving me a little bit of credence for my time, but, like, I just released 2 videos not talking about Super Meat Boy Forever. I just did, like, this is the time where I'm trying to move away from that content, and now this comes out of nowhere. And spread misinformation about Team Meat. What misinformation? Every single thing that I've ever said about them was warranted and has a source. Like, and this is the thing about this entire thing that I'm seeing now, is, like, he doesn't really list any examples of anything, and even, like, in a comment that he just posted, he was like, oh, you can say, like, all these things in the Gappy video, in all these things in the Gappy games, you praise these, but they say that they're bad in Super Meat Boy Forever. That's just sad. And he didn't list any of it. So my comment to him was like, can you go ahead and, like, list the things that I said? Because, like, I was pretty sure that I just went through, and anything that I do equate to Super Meat Boy Forever, I do it in the way of these games do it way better. Like, that was my entire thing. It's like, that's the entire reason why I've been doing some autorunners. Not only because the guys that are making them are cool as shit, and I love hanging out with them, but it's just because I feel like those games do what Super Meat Boy Forever doesn't. So I asked him about that, and he's yet to respond, but it's just whatever. But yeah, there's just another thing of, like, where do I spread misinformation? Like, what thing of misinformation have I spread? Because pretty much everything that I have ever done was, like, from the entire reason why I mention it on the channel is because it was said. Like, I don't just make shit up. I always, anytime I say anything, anytime that I say that they said something, I normally provide a screenshot. Unless there are a few times that he does know that I don't, then he's more than welcome to tell me those times. But as far as I know, yeah, misinformation is, like, not really. Not really. I try my best to source everything, and if I don't, then I'm sorry, but that's just the way I do it. I don't just make shit up just to make shit up. That's not the way I do things. And I'm not just talking about his interesting Super Meat Boy Forever review. He literally bashes SMBF in videos that aren't even related to SMBF. His plush reviews are a good example. Yeah, because it's just, yeah, like that, they're all interconnected. Like the games and the whatever, and the plush reviews and the whatever, like, it's just, like, it's kind of, it all goes back into each other. Like, I don't just say, like, random shit about, like, oh, yeah, the blah, 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 and Super Meat Boy Forever, I hate the fact that you gotta do the yes ranks and the blah, blah, blah. I don't say that in the plush videos. I say that about, like, yeah, like, the superficial shit, because it all comes together. It all comes together in the way that they're, like, conducting these things. It's like the way, like, they write the way they write these things, and the way they conduct the new, like, the plushies and the whatever, the way they conduct the characters, like, that's kind of what I mean about that. Like, it's not that, it doesn't really make sense to be like, oh yeah, you criticize the whole of one thing when you talk about this other thing that has nothing to do with it. It's like, no, I talk about certain facets of things, and I use it to apply it to what I'm talking about right now. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, it just, like, yeah, like, the interconnectedness with everything, that's kind of important. A little bit. Like, because the story you put out for everything, like, that, if that carries over between the plushies and the games, then, like, yeah, why wouldn't I talk about that? He also criticizes things that don't make sense, like how they should have reused SFX in Mean Meat. Reuse sound effect? What? When? What? When did I say that? When did I say, I made a comment about how they did reuse a sound effect. I did it on how they did, because, like, after they got a whole new sound team to do, like, sounds for the new game, but then they used the old ones that Jordan Fair made. That's a comment that I meant. That's a thing that I say. I don't say anything about, oh yeah, they should have reused blah blah blah. It's like, no, they did. They did. That's the whole reason why I said that, unless I'm missing something. Unless I'm missing something in there. And let's not forget about that time he talked for 20 minutes about how Dr. Fetus having floating hands ruins the franchise. And that's not even exaggerating either? What? Nah, dude. Nah, what the fuck? You're spreading misinformation about me. You're spreading misinformation, because I know for a fact that I didn't talk for 20 fucking minutes. Like, the video he's talking about is 35 minutes long. If you think I was talking for 20 minutes, then clearly that is an exaggeration. Clearly it's an exaggeration, dude. It was not 20 minutes. I'm gonna put that clip up right now. I'm just gonna play it from start to finish. No editing or anything. Also, that just makes me think of, like, what sorts of mechanisms are going on inside those gloves. Because, like, it looks hollow. So, like, what sorts of mechanisms are going on inside of there to, you know, like make, like, if I have, like a floaty thing, if I push a balloon or whatever, like, against the wall, like, that balloon is gonna bounce off. So, like, how does Dr. Fetus have, like, pushing power? How does he have, like, grip power? How does he have how does he have grip strength? How does he have pushing power? How is he able to apply force to anything? How is he able to flip these switches? How is he able to, like, move these how is he able to do that? I got so many questions, but they're not gonna be answered, unfortunately. That was, like, less than a minute long. I even threw in some bonus shit in there that didn't even go into the, like, original thing. Like, that was not 20 minutes, dude. Clearly you don't know what you're fucking talking about there. And then he says that, oh yeah, I say how it ruins the franchise? All I said is that it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And that goes back into the original thing that I said of, oh yeah, they lucked out when they made his hands all floaty so they can make him do whatever the fuck they want. Like, they did that to save money on the animation. That's the only reason why they did that, and then I mentioned that, and then I go into, like, oh yeah, well, the floating hands, like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense when we talk about it, but, like, it doesn't really have to make sense when they're just using it as a shortcut to not have to spend money on, like, moving his arms and whatever. That's the entire reason why I say that. It's not just SMBF he criticizes either. Before he rebranded, he made a video on The Binding of Isaac Repentance, which is a video that I want to do again because a lot of the shit in that was not accurate. I want to make a new one, a more updated one, by the way. And in said video, he's got nothing right. Okay, what things have I said? What things have I said? You can't just say, oh yeah, I got nothing right. Say those things. And he's going to say one of those things. He said the game doesn't need so many synergies. I did not say that. I'm gonna play the clip right now where I talk about the synergies. The biggest thing they did with the gameplay probably is that the synergies work now. That's great, awesome, and wholesome, but why didn't it work originally in Rebirth? Yeah, not a lot to say about this change. It was supposed to be here anyway. That was the whole basis of rebooting the series, to make the synergies and overall gameplay work better like the big man envisioned, which they did neither of the 3 other times they could have fixed it, and it took 6 years for someone other than Edmund to come in and make it work. That's absolutely hilarious. Very clearly, all I say is, oh yeah, they should have just done that in Rebirth, because that's the entire reason why Edmund wanted to do it again, with the new engine, so he could actually get the synergies to work. That's all I say. I never say anything about it having so many synergies. Where the fuck are you getting this from? And even said that they should have completely changed how all the items work in a freaking expansion. What? What? No, I was complaining that they did change it. I was complaining about, I wasn't saying, oh yeah, change each and everything, little by little. That's what they did. They nerfed a lot of the items, and what I was saying is oh yeah, you could do it in a better system, which I talked to Kilburn, the developer of Repentance, and he agreed with a lot of that. We talked about it, and he was oh yeah, a way in which you could, discern, which things are more worth and less worth and whatever. That's an actual thing that they implemented. I just find it very funny that we got all these dudes like Boss Door, that don't even play the games that they review and whatever, but now we got a dude that is criticizing me who hasn't even watched the videos that he's talking about. It's a little weird. It's and yet again, it goes back to the spreading misinformation thing. I didn't say any of this. I have the clips and I've been putting them up. You're spreading misinformation about me. I don't really appreciate this. I mean, thank God this is on a dead subreddit, because otherwise I'd be fucking ruined, probably, definitely, for serials. He did nothing but bash and criticize the game while completely ignoring the many positives. I said that I liked the tainted characters. I said I liked the idea of the tainted characters. Did you miss that? In every single, old video that he's mentioning right now, I say something positive. It's small, but, yeah, it's the positives that I found, and that's why it's my channel. That's why it's my video. If I don't vibe with a certain thing, I don't have to include it in the video. It doesn't have to, it just kind of feels like you're mad at me because I don't like the same things that you do. I look at games a little bit differently. The entire reason why I make videos on these things is because they're overwhelmingly bad in my eyes. If you don't like that, then you can make your own videos. You have a YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure you can just make your own videos if you love these games so much. That's allowed. It might be because I'm one of the only SMB content creators, so he's just mad that there's another guy. He's just mad that I'm a guy who doesn't say exactly what everyone on the Nicrama Discord thinks. I'm pretty sure that's the reason. Sound familiar? It's the exact same thing he did with his SMBF review, because that's the way that I do it. That's the way I do my content. I don't talk about it now I'm starting to move away from that, but the original intention of my channel when it first started was oh yeah, I'm going to talk about all these things that I don't really like. That I can't find a lot of overwhelmingly positive things to talk about. It's the only reason why I do that. I'm gonna redo those videos to give them a little bit more credence, but yeah, it just kind of seems like I'm just not saying the things that he wants me to say. And I feel like a lot of the things that he wants me to say are good are mainly superficial things. I kind of grew out of talking about superficial things, oh yeah, the story was blah blah blah, the visuals are blah blah blah. It's whatever. It's what you think is positive, I probably don't think is worthy of talking about in comparison to every other terrible thing that permeates within this thing that I'm talking about. And he said this multiple times. He's saying it now, and he's saying it he said it in a few comments that he put on my channel. He said something about oh yeah, you just keep talking about the negatives, but you don't want to talk about you don't want to talk about the many positives of Super Meat Boy Forever. Which positives? I've been playing the shit out of this game pretty much ever since it came out. I haven't found shit. I haven't found shit. The one thing that I said that I liked, again, I'm going back to the whole thing of I said something positive in my initial video on Super Meat Boy Forever. I do say I liked the Dr. Fetus fight. I said that I liked that. I said that, and then in the End is Nigh video, I say, oh yeah, I really like the music. The music is really good. And the art style, of course, because it's Edmund. It kind of seems like right now you're trying to malform me into this boogeyman that you want to just make out as a completely negative guy. But it's like, I've never permeated myself on being just that. I've tried to just, especially now, I'm trying to go away from that. I'm trying to just look at things like, oh yeah, how does it play? How does it whatever? But initially, yeah, I kind of was doing that. That's the entire point of why I did that, is because I wanted to review bad things. You're not going to find a bunch of positives in a negative review of a thing. So, like, that's not really the way I roll. I wouldn't be making videos of things if there was, like, a shit ton of good things to praise. I would just leave it there. Or better yet, I would probably, if there was a game that I found that had a lot of negatives, but also a lot of positives, then I would probably be on the side of promoting it. Like, there's a game there's Dying Light 2. A lot of people don't like Dying Light 2. I liked it. I enjoyed it. There were a lot of things that it did worse from the original, but there was a lot of good things that they did. So I like it. I've dumped a lot of hours into it. I've played it genuinely because it's fun. Like, just like, I don't just go around and shit on things that, like, everyone thinks are good. I just shit on things that I don't like. Like, there's plenty of games with a lot of things, like, off to the side or don't really matter, or a lot of overwhelmingly negative things. There are a lot of negative things, too, like, that permeate within those games that I look over them because the rest of the game that I do enjoy, that, like, overwhelms my joy over the things that make it bad. But with SMBF, like, there's every single thing in that game is perfectly, like, tailor-made, handcrafted to be as shitty as possible. Like, the level generation, the random generation, all that shit, the level design, the A ranks and the S ranks, like, all of that is, like, front and center when you play that game. Especially, I didn't talk about that in my original video, but especially now, like in the newer videos, I try to bring that up, and I'm going to make new videos of every single thing that he's talking about right now, so it kind of seems like he's just talking in circles, trying to convince himself that I'm worse than I actually am. There's also some other things, like him getting mad that that's the wrong there. That's the THEY''RE. That's the right there. Sorry, it just jumped out to me. I'm so sorry. That they're making merch for money. That's the whole point of merch. Now, I don't give a fuck about merch. Like, I don't give a fuck if you make merch. I don't care that they're making merch for money. Yeah, that is the point of making merch, to make some money. I want to make some merch. I want to make some merch eventually. My entire problem with it is that the merch is shit. Like, especially compared to the old merch that they used to put out, like, there is a clear drop in quality, and they're charging, like, out the ass prices for all of these really shitty products. That's the part that I'm mad about. That's the part that I talk about in the videos. I don't give a fuck if they're making merch. If it was just like okay merch, if it was like fine merch or whatever, I would just leave that. I would just leave it, but it just lines up with the quality of everything else, so I just can't help but talk about it. Or his The End Is Nigh review that's just as awful, but I'm not gonna get into that here. You didn't really get into anything. You just kind of said, oh yeah, you do this thing. You didn't really list any examples. You do list examples, but they're all incorrect. It's a good thing that you abstained, because I feel like you would have been wrong on all that shit, too. I'm terrible at ending things, so there it is. There's my channel. There's my channel. I feel like that's meant to be like, oh yeah, he's not subscribed anymore. He's not subscribed, guys. Okay. Alright, that's fine. If you don't like my channel, like, no one is forcing you to stay, dude. No one's forcing you. If you don't like my shit, unsubscribe. Don't watch my shit. It's as simple as that. Yeah, this whole thing is just really interesting. Like, it kind of comes off as, like, a lot of people that, like, he's doing right now what a lot of people think I do. Just, like, going and, like, saying a bunch of shit that isn't true. You are spreading misinformation about me. As I just demonstrated, a lot of the shit you said in here was incorrect. To try a little harder. Actually try to watch my videos before you do this shit. Alright, now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna read some of the comments. Let's read some of the epic Reddit gold comments, guys. Yeah, his channel is based around worshipping Super Meat Boy and claiming every other game is garbage. His review on The End Is Nigh was rough to sit through. Again, it's a really interesting thing that you're saying this, because I'm making videos on games that I like. Like, that's the one thing that everybody else says. Like, they say, like, oh yeah, you only think Super Meat Boy is good. It's like, no, I like other games. I said right now, like, I didn't even mean to say this, but I said I like Dying Light 2. And fucking, like, Deep Rock. Like, I've been playing fucking Deep Rock Galactic all fucking day today. That's another game that I like. I don't just like Super Meat Boy. My My existence would be a pretty boring one if I thought that anything but Super Meat Boy was shit. Yeah, but SMBF actually sucks. And then he says, if you played the game and think that, then I respect your opinion. So why is it different for me? I played the game. I thought it was shit. Why don't you respect my opinion? Not like you went ahead and this is you respecting my opinion right now. This is you respect my, you just made this whole thing about me and then you put all those comments in there. It's like, why isn't this the same for me? Why isn't this, why not? Why? I honestly enjoyed it as a mobile game. As desktop game, it sucks. I mean, yeah, that I'm kind of there with you. If they just release this shit as a mobile thing, like, fine. It's fine, whatever. That's where it belongs. That's where it was made. That's where they made it. That's where they made it initially, and then they scaled it up. It's like, that would be totally fine. I'd be cool with that. The Steam reviews say it's decent, apparently, but I haven't looked at them since I bought the game with Super Meat Boy. Yeah, the reviews aren't really, like, trustworthy, because a lot of it, like, you can have, like, really, like, you can have one really well-worded negative review, and then you can have a positive review that says, Meat Boy Super Game. They're basically the same. They're basically the same, and, like, one has a bunch of thought put into it, and then another has nothing. That's what you're gonna find if you look in the reviews. Lots of text, I don't know what. The only thing I'll say is that I don't care.
And that's a completely valid response. Understandable.
Have a great day. You too. This is the average Reddit experience. Average Reddit conversation. Oh, there's one from a dude in my Discord server down here. Oh boy, oh boy. Cry about, oh. It got negative down duded. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is awful. He got negative down dudes. That's so bad. And then he goes off on this tism rage. Is like, yeah, this funny. That's funny. This funny kind of speaks volumes about your character if you're just going off and doing this shit. How have you not learned to be like, just, that, I don't even have to say anything about this. Like, this is an actual response from someone. I looked at his, I'm not going to pull this up, but I looked at his account. It says that he's over 18. It said, like, if you're over 18 and you're making shit like this, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The internet has failed you. It's done wonders for me, but it is failing you. I'm so sorry about that. Stay mad. He got negative down duded yet again. At least I don't have a freaking plushie as my profile. Ooh, that's a low blow, dude. That's a low fucking blow. Come on, man. Come on. What if that's the plushie that he's had for his entire life? What if he's had that shit for that, man? That's a low fucking blow, dude. Why'd you have to go there? Why'd you have to diss the plushie? Why'd you have to diss the merch? I cry harder, and then it seems like you're the only one that's mad, mate. Lashing out on people in the internet isn't going to fix anything. Oh, so that's how it works. That's how it works. So, like, okay, well then what's this then? Did you just make this for shits and giggles? Did you do this because you really, really wanted to? Same thing with all those comments. Like, did you just put those there just to do it? Like a troll? It's a little weird, a little switch in the logic. Kind of like your entire presence on my channel. You were doing just like okay comments, and then now all of a sudden now you're on the warpath. All of a sudden, for some reason, I don't know why. But yeah, guys, yeah, that's my Reddit adventure. I'm not making a fucking Reddit account to respond to this. But I do have a YouTube channel, so this is what this is here. And if this dude wants to, like, make this into an actual thing, my Discord server is in the description. So you can just come on in. We can make this an actual thing, dude. You can actually talk to me. You can bring me your list of complaints, and you can talk to me one-on-one. That is totally allowed. But until then, I'm just gonna be relegated to nothingness because this dude, he put me on Reddit, guys. He put me on Reddit, guys. I don't think I can do this anymore. I can't take this.